Part 68. Pokemon's Character Master. Author, Ai Ren Huoqiang Xiao. Chapter 698. Lake of Mirrors. So clear. It seems that beneath the water level is the blue sky. On the other side of the Lake of Mirrors. Could it be a parallel world? Yang Yu couldn't help but think wildly. Yeah. Poppy. Such pure lake water had no smell of pollution, which shocked Yang Yu but also made him a little worried. I am afraid that there is some terrible unknown existence in this lake. When I stuck my head out blankly, I could clearly see my golden conch cap on the lake, as well as my big and silly head. I hadn't looked in the mirror for a long time. Me. The mini-dragon really wanted to jump into the Lake of Mirrors and take a bath, but Yang Yuxian grabbed him. King Salted Fish, try to electrocute this place with 100,000 volts. Yang Yu thought it was better to be on the safe side. The Lake of Mirrors was so peaceful that it made Yang Yu feel a little creepy in his heart. Roar. A thunderous roar vibrated over the mirror lake. Sizzle. With the power of tens of thousands of insect electric treasures charging, who would use 100,000 volts at this time? Of course it was thunder. The lightning struck towards the center of the mirror lake. There are 3 mirror lakes in the Sky City. The bottom of the mirror lake is the sky of the secret labyrinth below. However, the one where Yang Yu is located only occupies 1/3 of the entire maze secret realm. However, that is also an extremely terrifying number. Yang Yu has successfully passed through 2 secret realms, the ice path and the electric path. At the level of the Sky City secret realm, they naturally have a higher status than those trainers who have not yet passed through a secret realm maze. However, Yang Yu didn't know what was in the Lake of Mirrors, let alone what would happen if Salty Fish King's lightning struck him. For safety reasons, anyway. Just chop it and that's it. Rumble, rumble, rumble. Over Wankai's peach blossom maze, dark clouds were gathering and thunder was rumbling. If Wankai's hadn't seen Yang Yu's face in the sky with his own eyes and what Yang Yu said, Wankai's would have thought it was just an ordinary thunderstorm in the secret realm of Sky City. But Wankai's saw it with his own eyes. This is not a natural disaster. It's a man-made disaster, a man-made disaster. Ouch, Yang Yu, please don't hit me. Please be a human being. Why did you go to the sky? Wankai's who? We are in a bombing zone, and we are about to be bombed to the point where we have doubts about our lives. The cursed doll following Wankai's looked at its owner in disbelief. Could it be that this was the real cursed person? Before entering the Sky City secret realm, Wankai's and Zhang Huiyu were still worried about whether Yang Yu and Wu Yuqian would miss this opportunity to enter the Sky City secret realm. What was the result? Instead of worrying about Yang Yu, it's better to worry about yourself first. Amen, brother Yang Yu, please be merciful. I'll treat you to a meal when I get back and recharge you as a member. Oh no, I'll recharge you as a super member and recharge your coins. Amen. Wankai's eyes were extremely pious. I don't know if Wankai's prayer worked, but the thunder in the sky soon stopped. Who? Oh my god, this is too scary. Yang Yu, where is Yang Yu now? He won't become the lord of the city in the sky, so he's going to blow up the sky. There is no room for Wankai's to think nonsense. Where has Wankai's seen this kind of operation? Yang Yu's current identity feels like a god in the sky above the secret realm. Where is that move or the 100,000 volts? It was like thunder. Where is the rumbling thunder? It is clearly the roar of the Salted Fish King. No, you have to leave this place quickly. When you go back, you have to treat Master Yang Yu to dinner, recharge your super membership and deduct coins. Wankai's was still frightened and got ready to go again. Not all secret realms can see Yang Yu's face, 3,000 weak water, and only 1 ladle to drink. Fortunately, the secret realm maze where Wankai's is located is the only scene that can be seen. Amaterasu. Don't hit me, don't hit me. Zhyla. A bolt of lightning struck less than 50 meters in front of Nakamura Shuaki, who was so frightened that Nakamura Shuaki quickly hugged his head. This secret realm is a bit scary. Even if it's a whirlwind and roaring, it doesn't matter, the worst is to start all over again. But this lightning that struck directly. Oh my god. This is going to happen all over again. I want to go home, I want to go home. I want to find my parents. I don't want to break into the secret realm of Sky City. Under the thunder, the whirlwind rolled up and attacked in unparalleled coordination. Shuaki Nakamura and his elf returned to the entrance of the secret realm in an instant. Your Majesty Amaterasu. I'm staying here. Even if you kill me, I won't even step foot into this secret realm. He has never been so happy. Nakamura Shuaki felt that his courage was frightened. What does it mean to survive? This is the aftermath. Axie. The maze in front was struck by lightning. How can you survive this? Axie, elite trainer Park Taishun watched helplessly as a thunder struck in the sky, directly splitting the road in front of him into a huge canyon. If you are elsewhere, you don't have to worry about this at all. But in this first secret maze, it's forbidden. Flying elves cannot fly at all. It's like taking a test paper during an exam and discovering that there seems to be a missing question on the test paper. During the exam, the teacher copied the missed question on the blackboard. When you look up, see. This question is beyond the scope of Smecta. This won't happen at all. In a restricted area, teleportation and flight are disabled, and the length of the vine whip is not enough. How can one cross the cracked cliff? Park Tae-soon. Do we have to jump down and become ghosts to drift over the cliff? No. It seems like ghost elves can't float over either. See. Not all places will bring devastating blows. Of course, most of them will be devastating. However, there are still several secret mazes, and even because of the appearance of thunder, the secret mazes have become extremely easy. Damn it, God help me. A thunderbolt blew up the road for me. Wu Yuqian's eyes widened. Is there such a great thing in the secret realm? Is this the reward after passing through 100 secret realm mazes? Triggering thunder, detonating all the subsequent levels to explode and creating a shortcut. The more Wu Yuqian thought about it, the more possible it became. If there are no rewards for breaking through so many secret realms, who would be in the mood to continue? Although it is indeed very satisfying to cause destruction, the twists and turns of the problem are solved in one go without thinking. In this aspect, we still have to learn from Kentaro. One force can defeat 10. Sentaro, let's keep rushing. Mu. The broad road is right in front of you, just rush and you're done. Almost 99% of the trainers believed that this was a sudden natural disaster. However, there were 1 or 2 North American trainers with secret missions in the secret realm. Someone arrived at the Sky City Mirror Lake ahead of schedule. How is this possible? Calculating based on the time it took to enter the secret realm of the Sky City, only 2 days and 4 hours have passed. In total, it is 52 hours. Did the trainers from Sakura country arrive at the Lake of Mirrors, or were they trainers from other countries? If it were trainers from other countries, it would be impossible. 40 hours, even if they keep moving forward, it would be impossible. Hurry through the 2 levels and reach the Lake of Mirrors. There is a record in the relics of Professor Planzezen, the king-level trainer who entered the secret realm of Sky City 24 years ago. The time when he arrived at the Lake of Mirrors was the 5th day after entering the secret realm of Sky City. Only 3 people can have the opportunity to see the Lake of Mirrors in the Sky City. If they take action in the Lake of Mirrors, almost 1/3 of the trainers in the world will lose the chance to compete for the treasure of the secret realm of the Sky City. Although there is only one chance to make an effective move. Only Professor Planzezen knows the secret. In the lake of mirrors that was once destroyed, the professor discovered and brought back an energy crystal with extraordinary meaning in life. Who is this person? Who is this person? Damn it! How could this happen? Why can we reach the lake of mirrors so quickly? The youngest gym-level trainer in North America, the blonde female trainer Astrid, who successfully challenged the grass-type gym and became famous in one fell swoop, was staring at the sky where the dark clouds were gradually dispersing. I hope the secret of the mirror lake will not be discovered. Damn it, there are only two other opportunities to access the mirror lake. Even the damaged mirror lake, Professor Planzezen's life cloning plan, cannot be affected by any impact. Astrid glanced at the sky hatefully, feeling a little powerless in her heart. She is the youngest gym-level trainer in North America. When she entered the secret realm of Sky City, she was given huge expectations. But now, the first place to go to Mirror Lake was actually taken first. Damn 12-hour secret realm local protection, which abominable trainer in Sakura country is he? Don't let me find you. Astrid hastened her exploration of the secret maze, and only she could hear her curse. In the empty secret realm, there was a puff of black smoke rising from some places. Unfortunately, Astrid didn't know that the trainer who entered the Mirror Lake area in advance was not from the Sakura Kingdom. At this time, Yang was sitting on De Meily's back, holding De Meily's neck and playing in the Mirror Lake. Fortunately, Yang Yu asked the Salted Fish King to cast a thunder into the Mirror Lake in advance, so that the Mirror Lake's only chance to affect the secret realm of the lower labyrinth was exhausted. Otherwise, Yang Yu's muscular body would have been destroyed. In case someone sees it. Me. On the back of the mini-dragon, Tijipai and the little dream monster were hugging each other tightly. It was the first time for the croaking frog to see such a clear lake and swim in it. Why, are there no other water elves in the Lake of Mirrors? Where is the mysterious crystal, hidden? Yang Yu thought while hugging the beautiful slender and smooth neck. Poppy. Yang Yu was slightly startled. There seems to be something discovered at Tijipai. Asking for a monthly ticket. Pokemon's Character Master. Author, AI Renhuo Xiangxiao. Chapter 699. Poppy. Tijipai greeted Yang Yu with his little hands and pointed at a place in the Lake of Mirrors with no rules at all. Even if Yang Yu was sitting on the back of the beautiful girl, if it weren't for the dull figure on the back of the Salted Fish King, Bubbles, when they pass by this inconspicuous place, the bubbles seem to disappear out of thin air. Gilug. The mini-dragon tilted its head and spit out a long series of bubbles towards this strange place. There is no doubt that these bubbles disappeared directly at this place. Yeah. Dede once again drew a purple bubble, coming from the opposite direction. This time, when I passed this weird place in the opposite direction, the bubbles did not disappear. Then I let the purple bubbles push back like the first bubble. This time, the bubbles moved weirdly again. The place disappears. Dede once again controls the bubbles in all directions. Only the bubbles in one direction will disappear. The rest of the bubbles will not change at all. Enron can pass through this weird place. This time, Yang Yu understood. The little dream demon even sent a ball of shadow inside. The shadow ball bounced around and disappeared soon. The little dream demon even wanted to float in to look for it, but was immediately held back by Yang Yu. After a dull test. Here is a door. Salty Fish King and Little Bayo can't get in because they are too big. Yang Yu can sit on De Meily's back and enter this unknown door, but no one knows what terrible things may exist inside this seemingly empty door. Reggie Locke, come out, what's going on at this door? How did you find the mirror door in the Lake of Mirrors? The first sentence of Reggie Locke's core of wisdom is so shocking. Yang Yu spread his hands and pointed in the direction of Tijipai. Tijipai raised his hands in excitement, while still encouraging himself, as if to say I found it. Tienen, super lucky, it's simply a bug in the exploration of the secret realm. Reggie Locke's core of wisdom ignored Tijipai for a while. It seemed that it didn't want its rock body to be touched by the pure water in the Lake of Mirrors. Although it is protected by Data's superpower, it still stays in the golden conch hat. Mirror Gate, Yang Yu repeated, what's in it? Perhaps, there are 3 holy birds sleeping inside. Reggie Locke's tone was not very sure. For so many years, he didn't know what happened in the Sky City. Yang Yu. What is maybe? Can you be more confident? Reggie Locke was silent for a moment and then said, 24 years ago, a mirror lake in the secret realm of Sky City was destroyed by a human trainer. It should be to find the secret of the mirror lake. The secret of that mirror lake. I don't know if the mirror gate has been destroyed, but the energy crystal was stolen by that trainer. Yang Yu saw that Reggie Locke wasn't joking, and his expression became serious. Sorry, this is the greed of human trainers. If it were hundreds of years ago, I could tell you with certainty that the 3 sacred birds were among them. But now, I'm sorry, I can no longer recognize many things in the secret realm of Sky City. Reggie Locke, there is some guilt and helplessness in the core of wisdom. Even a guardian would be helpless in the face of such a powerless situation. The existence of the mirror lakes in the Sky City is to provide a better living environment for the elves in the secret realm of the Sky City. However, no one knows what kind of damage will happen to the Sky City if one of the mirror lakes is damaged. Variety. If I have a chance to see the destroyed mirror lake, I wonder if there is a chance to help repair it. Yang Yu is not a holy lady, nor does he want to talk about saving the world. He is just an ordinary trainer who can leave a brilliant mark on the journey of being a trainer in this elf world, and then, retire and sell meat waffles. Or ice cream. Yeah, yeah. Yi. Ho ho ho. Water is the source of life. Most of the elves in Yang Yu are water elves. From the moment they captured the Salted Fish King, they were destined to become attached to water. Why not give it a try? Maybe in more than 20 years, when the secret realm of Sky City appears again, Yang Yu can come in again to see what changes will happen in this secret realm. Come with me, kid. Too far, too far. After all, Yang Yu still has the sense of justice. No matter what happens in the future, if you don't do it now, you will regret it eventually. Reggie Locke was speechless. No matter what choice Yang Yu makes, it is just an ordinary gym-level elf now. Thank you, Reggie Locke considered his tone to make himself look happier. Any trainer with a sense of justice would do this, right? The destiny of the human and elven worlds is a community. Any high school student will know that. Yang Yu smiled, and then took out the elf ball. Salted Fish King, little Bayo Bayo, go back to the poke ball first. This door is too small, you can't get in. I'll call you out later. What could the Salted Fish King and little Bao Bao do? The Salted Fish King looked pitifully at Domali, while little Bao Bao could only look at the little dream demon helplessly, and the light flickered before returning to the elf ball. Now that we're here, Tijipai, Mini Dragon, Little Dream Demon, and Guaqua Bubble Frog, sit tight. Dumb, Great Beauty, Reggie Locke, let's go, Yang Yu ordered towards the mirror that cannot be seen with the naked eye. Give instructions in the direction of the door. A magical scene appeared. Yang Yu and his group of elves slowly entered the mirror door. Soon, the mirror lake seemed to have returned to calm, and it was still crystal clear. At the same time, no elves could be seen. Purple light flashed. Dede didn't light the lights too brightly. This is a very dark passage. It's hard to imagine that the 3 sacred birds hundreds of years ago might have lived here. However, this made Yang Yu feel like he was diving under the sea. The mysterious atmosphere was a bit like a cave at the bottom of a lake. With the dull purple light, Yang Yu could vaguely see the outline of some rocks at the bottom of the lake. I saw an elf, it's a little flying fish. There are also heartfish and cherry blossom fish. This place is much clearer than the bottom of the sea. Just like when I was snorkeling in the sea before, the visibility was very low with just such a super bright light, but it is different here. The light can shine very far. Far. Maybe this is the real secret realm. Yang Yu couldn't help but feel a jump in his heart. It's like peeling off the mysterious appearance of the Sky City layer by layer, and finally discovering that there is a more secret area among the mystery. If Tijipai hadn't been there, Yang Yu probably wouldn't have discovered such a mysterious mirror gate. Perhaps it's a little secretive because human trainers trust their own eyes too much. In fact, they can't even detect it right in front of their own eyes. The little dream demon took out the magic fairy stick in his hand. This time, what was injected into the magic fairy stick was not the power of the ghost system, but the power of the electric system. The light lit in the best dark stone seemed to flicker like the fairy wand fireworks we played with when we were children. Poppy. The tranquil bottom of the lake, perhaps, is this a kind of tranquility that is not disturbed by others? There was a big beauty there, and many small flying fish swam over unknowingly. They all looked at the charming big beauty with great curiosity. At the same time, they also looked at the mini dragon, dude, little dream demon, and Tijipai with curiosity. Croaking frogs, and even Yang Yu. The little flying fish looked at this foreign Yang Yu beast with extremely strange eyes, thinking that Yang Yu was also an elf. It just looks a little weird. He doesn't look very smart. In a secret place like this, these innocent elves naturally don't know what people are, nor what human trainers are. Naturally, Yang Yu is just one who doesn't look very smart. The elf. More and more elves at the bottom of the lake are attracted to Yang Yu and Male. Beside Dede, there were even a few bold love fish that landed on Dede's shoulders. Dede grinned and stretched out his hand to catch them, and these love fish would also stay in Dede's hands. King Dede is the sage of the sea. There are also many small flying fish around the little dream demon. Especially these small flying fish seem to be very curious about the glowing fairy stick in the hand of the little dream demon, and they all want to know what kind of magical baby it is. The little dream demon waved the fairy stick to the left, and the little flying fish followed and swam to the left. The little dream demon swung to the right, and the flying fish gathered to the right. So fun. These are little elves full of great curiosity, not to mention, there are also peace-loving beauties here. The eyes of the lovefish are all filled with little stars. They themselves are very beautiful elves, but, I have never seen one as beautiful as the beautiful one. In such an atmosphere, even the croaking frog couldn't help but reach out and communicate with these escorted water elves. The only person who was unhappy was Yang. Thousand needlefish, oh. Yang Yu. 1,000 needlefish stared at Yang Yu for a long time with its big bubble-like eyes. It was the only elf that seemed to have good intentions towards Yang Yu. Yang Yu thought with a very friendly smile at this moment. When it's time to say hello. 1,000 needlefish, Sigma. Slipping away, slipping away. The little flying fish quickly ran away from Yang Yu with a frightened look on its face. It couldn't help but look back, fearing that Yang Yu was chasing him. Yang Yu. Whenever I type this question mark, it's not that I have a problem, but that I think you have a problem. Be reasonable. Menus, slow, mini dragon, little dream demon, Tijipai, and croaking frog. These are all my elf companions, Yang Yu. You fish, are so bullying. Believe it or not, I, Yang Yu, took out a big guy and showed it to you little rookies. Please vote. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Pokemon's Character Master. Author, Ai Ren Huo Chiang Xiao. Chapter 700. GRRRRRR. This trip to the clear bottom of the mirror lake in the Sky City reminded Dede of the time when he studied with his master Lao Huidi in the meteor lake. Although there are not so many beautiful little fish to accompany me, there are companions every time I sneak at the bottom of the lake. In the end, Yang Yu didn't take out the salted fish king and little Bao Bao. We can only give them both a hard time, otherwise they might not catch a single fish once they come out. There are also some pearl oysters, but I still don't understand how the pearl oysters evolved into the hunter fish or the cherry blossom fish. The former is obviously a shell, but the latter two evolved forms are both fish. Forget it, it has nothing to do with me anyway. Yang Yu doesn't have a hobby of collecting elves. There are already so many powerful water elves. The cherry blossom fish can only be used as an ornamental pet, and it will also waste Yang Yu's elf ball. Besides, no matter how beautiful it is, can it be so beautiful? There's light up there, it looks like we're coming. When they reached the shallow water area, these fish elves did not follow them. In the shallow water area, they were not very friendly to the fish elves. At the moment when De Mali was about to jump out of the water with Yang Yu and Dede and other elves, several sharp-eyed large-billed gulls in the sky suddenly swooped down toward the water. Damn it, there are actually big-billed gulls trying to prey on us. In the clear lake water, Yang Yu looked up and could see a few big-billed gulls flying down in the sky with their mouths wide open. Yi. Yeah. Gym-level Dumb and Great Beauty will naturally not be afraid of the flying impact of the merely advanced Dezuu. Looking at the huge mouth of the big-billed gull in the sky, Yang Yu thought of an interesting statement. If you don't want to be eaten by the big-billed gull, you just need to be bigger than the big mouth of the big-billed gull. There are just a few big-billed gulls. You don't even need to summon the salty fish king and little Bao Bao. However, during the journey to the bottom of the lake, I promised to summon the salty fish king and little Bao Bao. Now I will leave this opportunity to show off. Let them. The two elf balls flashed instantly. Roar. Ho ho ho. Is it exciting, not surprising, unexpected? Yang Yu felt a little excited. The two azure bodies of Salty Fish King and Little Bao Bao were like two dragons out of the sea. In this clear water, even their reflections were extremely domineering, and a cyclone formed around them soared into the air, fully displaying the essence of the flying elves. Not to mention that each one is bigger and more ferocious than the other Gyarados abyss mouth. Ang. Ong, ang, ang. Ang ang ang. These large-billed gulls flying and swooping down were so stupid. Where is the fish you promised? How did it become such a terrifying thing? Just as soon as you arrive. The big-billed gull flapped its wings like crazy, trying to stop itself from flying and diving, but the fishing momentum had already come out, and it was not as handsome as usual. The big-billed gull wanted to forcefully change during this collision. Own flight path. It's not that easy. The abyss maws of the Salty Fish King and Xiao Bao Bao cannot be combined even if they want to. The ferocious maw is right here, so just ask the big-mouthed gulls. Do you still dare to have evil thoughts towards Yang Yu and the group of elves? Bullying the weak can be left to Xiao Bao Bao. After all, Xiao Bao Bao also has the characteristic of being overconfident and likes to torture the weak. The more he tortures the weak, the stronger he becomes. Only. Who made Yang Yu want to satisfy the evil taste in his heart? It was the big-billed gulls who struck first. After all, the collision did not occur. It was enough to scare these large-billed gulls, but these large-billed gulls staggered away. Quite a relief. Is this, the secret realm deep inside the mirror gate? Yang Yu looked around in the air and took a few deep breaths. The air here was not ordinary fresh. There was no way to compare it with the cities in the outside elven world. In Yang Yu's impression, only the meteor lake where Laohu was located had such fresh air. Green water and green mountains are indeed very consistent with the characteristics of a secret realm. The clouds and mist here surround the mountain tops, and the dense atmosphere makes the environment here even more pure and clean. The secret realm of Sky City has not appeared in more than 20 years. In the depths of this secret realm, it is estimated that not many people have been here. The appearance of the primitive forest, no one knows what kind of elves are hidden in the mountains and forests. Yang Yu looked forward to it, preparing to enter this unknown world of mountains and forests. Wait a minute, there's something weird about this mountain in front of you, Reggie Locke suddenly said, stopping Yang Yu from wanting to transfer to the Salted Fish King and enter the forest directly. Weird, Yang Yu was stunned for a moment. Reggie Locke had said so this mountain must have something special about it. Whether it is some experience or understanding of the elf world, at least he must know more than Yang Yu. You really need to be careful when entering the secret mountain forest. This mountain, can you feel something strange somewhere? Yang Yu scratched his head. He only looked with his eyes, indeed he couldn't find anything strange. Maybe there are some very powerful grass elves in this mountain? The deeper you go into the secret realm, the more powerful elves are likely to appear. Especially in this huge primitive mountain forest, you might encounter powerful grass elves such as Monarch Snake and Bulbasaur. Whether it is the Monarch Snake or the Bulbasaur, once in this wooded primitive mountain forest and under the green grassland, any grass-type moves will receive a huge bonus. Even if Yang Yu has the Salted Fish King, he does not dare to be careless. So before Yang Yu entered the mountain forest, he planned to transfer to the Salted Fish King instead of continuing to sit on De Mele's back. De Mele's speed in the water can beat the Salted Fish King, but in the air, the Salted Fish King with flying attributes has an absolute advantage. I carefully used my superpower to touch and test it, but it was still just an ordinary mountain range, and it was not an illusory fantasy scene like a mirage. Dada shook his head, saying that he had not discovered anything, and continued to use his superpower to contact and sense the mountain in front of him. It would be great if there was a core of power. With this strength now, it is impossible to detect the reality of this mountain. Reggie Locke also felt helpless. Intuition tells it that this mountain is definitely not as simple as it looks in front of it, but due to the lack of Regirock's power core, it only has gym-level strength, which greatly limits some of the analytical capabilities of Regirock's wisdom core. Speaking of this huge mountain range, Yang Yu was suddenly stunned. In the memory deep in his mind, he vaguely touched something, as if he had seen such a situation somewhere. What is the connection between elves and a mountain range? Where have you seen it? Comics? Or animation? Still? Etc. An idea flashed in Yang Yu's mind. This situation seemed to have happened before. When looking at the central island from the air, if the entire island has an extension effect on the boundary, and then rationally rotates the river branches according to the distribution of the rivers on the island pattern formed will be an island pattern. The only map fish is the key to the central island of the world, the ancient coelacanth. Although the appearance of the Sky City does not look like an elf, in this secret realm, right in front of Yang Yu, this huge primitive mountain forest may look like an elf. This scene appeared in the movie Detective Pikachu. A turtle as huge as a mountain range. Could this mountain range in front of me? Gudong. Yang Yu thought of the impossible possibility. The elven world itself is full of mysterious and unknown existences. Apart from that impossible possibility, what else could explain the vigilance at the core of Reggie Locke's wisdom? The secret realm of Sky City. If no humans have set foot here for thousands of years, then a turtle that has survived for thousands of years. How big will it be? Yang Yu didn't dare to start imagining. Turtles and Regirock are different from elves like Jengar Lahe who have also survived for thousands of years. If they have enough sunlight, water, and soil, they can grow, and grow again. The larger the body, the more energy each photosynthesis provides, and the more energy photosynthesis provides, the more it promotes the growth of the turtle. This is a virtuous cycle. The lake of mirrors that Yang Yu entered. The Lake of Mirrors has not been destroyed, and even the mirror gate in the Lake of Mirrors was discovered with the help of Tian'an and the super-lucky European Emperor Tianjia. This impossible possibility is really the greatest possibility. Yang Yu's heart was moved. If the mountain in front of you is really the back of the ridge of the supergiant turtle, no matter whether you can conquer it in the future, you can have a good relationship with it at this time. No matter what, it's not a loss. Once he succeeds, at least for a period of time in the secret realm of Sky City, Yang Yu will have a super invincible and terrifying backer. Be envious. The ultimate greed. Bet or not. At this time, no one was around to see the joke. Even if the bet was wrong, there would be no price, even just a blush. Once Yang Yu won the bet. This can prove Yang Yu's vision as a trainer. Yang Yu recognized this green mountain as the back of the Tutai turtle. Almost instantly, Yang Yu made his decision. Fight. My patron, Zone Menghao, would like to ask Senior Tutegui to come and talk to me. The sound was so loud that it resounded throughout the entire mountain forest. At this time, Reggie Locke was shocked again by Yang Yu's words. Tutegui, Yang Yu, how did he think of it? Roar. The salted fish king narrowed his eyes instantly. An unspeakable and terrifying pressure began to rumble through the mountains and forests. Click, click, click. As early as the moment Yang Yu entered the mirror gate, Tutegui had already opened his eyes. But even it didn't expect that it would be recognized by Yang Yu. The mountains and forests shook, the sky was blocked, and thousands of birds took to the sky. Rumble, rumble, rumble. The guardian of the secret realm, Tutai Turtle, appears. Please vote. Pokemon's Character Master. Author, AI Renhuo Xiangxiao. Chapter 701. Reggie Locke. Isn't your name King Yunman Han Li? Why did he suddenly become his patron, Meng Hao? How many vests do you have? Now is not the time to think about that. At this time, every time the primitive mountain forest winds around the mountains and towers into the clouds, it shakes like an earthquake. Thousands of flying elves in this mountain forest scream in fear and scramble to fly up to the clouds. Middle. Even the salted fish king, who is at the gym level and whose strength after entering the Red Lotus state is almost equal to that of the Heavenly King, will feel insignificant when he sees this giant earth turtle that is as big as a mountain. This turtle, which has survived for at least thousands of years in the secret realm of the Sky City, carries an extremely thick dusty aura with thousands of years of history. His eyes are bigger than those of the salted fish king. Staring at Yang Yu and his group of elves. This is the pressure of the mountain. The pressure of a towering mountain. The salted fish king and Xiao Bao 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 were waiting carefully, fearing that the terrifying Tutai turtle in front of them would take action in their direction. Even Yang Yu's heartbeat seemed to skip a beat. It's really a mountain of turtles. When the memory came into reality and Yang Yu watched the giant earth turtle in front of him move the entire back of the green mountain, he still hasn't recovered yet. Immediately, Yang Yu felt a burst of ecstasy in his heart. The bet worked. The thought that came to the little dream demon's mind was how big the turtle in front of him was, how big was Master Gang. He picked up the magic stick in his hand and made signs, and found. There's no way to compare. Even if I pick up a calculator, I can't figure it out. The little dream demon feels dizzy. Poppy. Tianjia doesn't have to worry so much. When he sees such a big turtle, just clap and marvel. The scene seemed to fall silent. The supergiant turtle looked at Yang Yu, who recognized him from behind the salted fish king, and Yang Yu was also looking at the supergiant turtle. Tutegui didn't take action immediately, which was a good thing. Once this supergiant earth turtle takes action in this secret space, the landslide and the earth will definitely collapse, and it is estimated that it will be able to destroy the secret space. By then, I'm afraid that the castle in the sky will collapse directly onto Mount Fuji. It is a secret keeper, not a secret destroyer. Ho! Tutegui's eyes were full of vigilance. Regirock's wisdom core translated, it asked us why we came to this place and how we got in. Cunning outsiders are not welcome here. Yang Yu smiled and raised Tijipai in his arms. Poppy. Tijipai is still saying hello to the big turtle. Regirock continued to translate, Tianen, super lucky Tijipai, an elf favored by the goddess of luck. Perhaps because of seeing Tijipai's presence, the turtle's humming sound softened slightly. Whoa dash. Regirock translated, Tutai turtle asked, how did you discover that this big mountain is its back? Although the rock god pillar reminded you, it is strange that the rock god pillar did not find the problem, but it was discovered by human trainers. Regirock is also weird. Even this strange feeling is not temporary at this time. When I met Yang Yu on the World Center Island, the feeling was not very strong, but as the relationship with Yang Yu became closer and closer, Regirock found that his master seemed to have a lot of people coming out of nowhere. Wonderful thoughts, like. It came out of nowhere. Even some information that cannot be found in the elf world, Yang Yu seems to know some. Just like the previous secret about the mysterious crystal. This secret related to the power of the three holy birds, but in front of Yang Yu, there is no secret at all. If Regirock hadn't been convinced that Yang Yu was a person, a human trainer, otherwise he would have thought that Yang Yu was an elf who could predict the future. I saw it after watching a movie, Yang Yu answered truthfully. Although there are no big elf movies in this world like Detective Pikachu, some giant elves will appear in big movies like Pokemon Master, the post-elf era, etc., so in Regirock it seems to make sense. Only. Why is it the Tutai turtle? In Regirock's eyes, Yang Yu became increasingly mysterious and unpredictable. In the past, Regirock's core of wisdom thought that Yang Yu was just lucky because Tianen and the super lucky Tijipai were there, so this good luck was very normal. But later, when it got to know Yang Yu better and better, it realized how powerful this human trainer was. Even God will admire a person who works hard and has talent. It's just that this person is a little too bad at the game. Taigi doesn't know what a movie is, and these are not important. What is important is that the person in front of him entered the mirror door and came to the depths of this secret realm. What exactly is he doing? Not long ago, a major incident occurred in the secret realm of Sky City. The Lake of Mirrors at the entrance to the secret realm was destroyed by human trainers. This caused a huge catastrophic impact on the peripheral environment of another Lake of Mirrors, and even affected the depths of the interior. Environment of. In order to prevent the environment from completely deteriorating from affecting the elves' homeland, around the destroyed Lake of Mirrors, the elves migrated on a large scale and sealed off that area. However, without the environmental purification effect of the Mirror Lake, it didn't take long for disaster to spread around the destroyed Mirror Lake. This is why turtles are wary of human trainers. If there were no Sky City and no human trainers entering, there would not have been the destruction of the Lake of Mirrors, nor would there have been a complete deterioration of the environment. For a turtle that has lived for thousands of years, 20 years ago was indeed not long ago. Taigi asked this question. First, he asked why only half of the rock god pillar, one of the three holy pillars, was left, and then why he followed a human trainer. Rock god pillar Regirock is also helpless. This turtle is also an old monster that has lived for thousands of years. It is the guardian of this secret realm. Speaking of which, even if it does not take action, it is an absolute king-level elf combat power. Regirock is just a core of wisdom. With his current strength, Tutegui really looks down on Regirock. Maybe it's because of being one of the three sacred pillars, the rock god pillar, or maybe it's because of Tijipai, and another thing is that the human trainer in front of him revealed the true identity of the earth turtle under the green mountain, the supergiant earth turtle, suppressing the anger in his heart. At this time, Yang Yu naturally spoke. In any case, this is an opportunity to build a good relationship with the Tutai-backer turtle. More importantly, no matter what, Yang Yu will try to help repair the destroyed mirror lake. I want to try to repair the lake of mirrors. No matter what, humans and elves are in the same world. The same world, the same dream, who doesn't want himself and his elves to live a better life? Although there is a utilitarian purpose in establishing a good relationship with Tutegui, Yang Yu's answer is very sincere. Since Yang Yu told Reggie Locke that he would do this before he met Tutegui, now, Yang Yu has more reason to do this better. Tutegui was just doubtful and slightly disdainful. In this matter, Tutegui doesn't care about the process, it only wants a result. Perhaps Tutegui believes that even the purifying power of his own primitive mountain forest cannot purify the bad environment around the destroyed Lake of Mirrors. How can a small human trainer do it? Yang Yu felt the contempt in the eyes of the supergiant earth turtle. Roar! The salted fish king's anger suddenly rose at this moment. Yang Yu patted the salted fish king on the neck and signaled the salted fish king to calm down. I was despised by the supergiant earth turtle. Then Yang Yu must take practical actions to make this earth turtle willingly be his backer. However, Yang Yu knew very well that the biggest backer was not anyone else, but himself. Step by step, everything starts from rebuilding the destroyed mirror lake. To tell you the truth, Yang Yu is now facing the supergiant earth turtle. Already very greedy. King Salted Fish, let's go. Let's head towards the broken mirror lake, Yang Yu said firmly. Roar! The Salted Fish King looked deeply at the supergiant turtle. The Salted Fish King also wants to kill the supergiant turtle. Dragon, soaring above the 9 heavens. Asking for a monthly ticket. Asking for a monthly ticket. Pokemon's Character Master. Author, Ai Ren Huo Xiangxiao. Chapter 702. By the way, Senior Tutegui. Yang Yu was sitting on the back of the Salted Fish King in high spirits, but as he was flying, he suddenly felt that he had forgotten what he asked, and then he flew back with a whoosh whoosh. Tutegui didn't seem to have a very good memory, and was a little confused. Yang Yu scratched his head sheepishly and asked. How to get to the destroyed Lake of Mirrors? Tutegui. Reggie Locke. The 3 mirror lakes connect 3 different corners of the Sky City respectively. If you want to enter the deeper secret realm of the Sky City, where Yang Yu is now, you must pass through the extremely difficult to find Mirror Gate. Although they are very far apart, there is no forbidden space in this primitive Pure Land. Sitting on the back of the Salted Fish King, with little Bayo Bayo escorting him beside him, Big Beauty continues to wrap around her neck. Data uses superpowers to protect him and flies in the air with incomparable freedom. In this world, Yang Yu is the only one here at this time. This feeling of enjoying the entire secret realm. How can the word Huang be so good? Lord of the Secret Realm, although this title is a bit arrogant, but now, Yang Yu is indeed the only human trainer here. Tropical Dragon Paradise. It has to be said that the body of Senior Tutegui is really huge, extending all the way to the tail with mountains and forests. Yang Yu feels like he has been flying for a long time. This also strengthened Yang Yuyan's idea of the supergiant earth turtle. On a plain grassland behind Tutaigishan Forest, you can see groups of tropical dragons walking on the grass, taking their time and leisurely, as if this is paradise. The Hanging Garden, or the Incredible Garden of Bulbasaur. A scene from the animation appeared in front of Yang Yu again. Seed. 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 A Bulbasaur stands on a huge tree stump, surrounded by a group of Bulbasaur, including several Bulbasaur's evolved Bulbasaur. It's like a ritual, waiting for the huge stamens behind the Bulbasaur to release incredible light, causing Bulbasaur to evolve. The little elves below the ground raised their heads and looked at the 2 Gyarados flying in the sky and Yang Yu's group and the elves on the back of the Salted Fish King, and they were very curious. Poppy. Tijipai looked at the grand scene in the secret realm with joy. No elf would refuse such a free world. More importantly, you can see many scenes here that the outside elves cannot see in the real world. Me. 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 The mini-dragon stared straight at the group of tropical dragons, probably recalling the smell of banana fruits under the neck of a certain tropical dragon, and began to swallow its saliva. Here, a true sense of peace can be enjoyed. The soothing breeze also weakened the tyranny of the salty fish king and little Tyrannosaurus as Gyarados a lot. Although Xiao Baobao did not refuse to engage in an elf battle, Xiao Baobao still felt a sense of pressure when he thought of the mountain-like giant earth turtle he had seen before. Regirock, does your information show who destroyed the Lake of Mirrors in the Sky City 24 years ago? Yang Yu is not very interested in these elves now. If he delays the important things at hand in order to catch some rare elves, he will be picking up sesame seeds and losing the watermelon. The supergiant turtle itself is a huge mountain of wealth. When the whole mountain slowly moved, how many flying elves flew out of the primitive mountain forest? Countless. To make good friends with Tutai Turtle is to master countless wealth. This is not only a matter of Tutai Turtle, but also the countless elves living on Tutai Turtle's back. There is no record in the data, but there is a finger pointing at the North American trainer who entered the secret realm of Sky City 24 years ago, Reggie Locke replied in a deep voice. North American trainers. I think it's most likely the same. Only trainers from that area would have the idea of destroying the Lake of Mirrors to find the secret location of the Mirror Gate. More importantly, even Reggie Locke's wisdom core cannot grasp this information, and can only point to the trainer on that side through speculation. If it is really them, I doubt that during this exploration of the secret realm of Sky City, they will definitely take action against the Lake of Mirrors. It's just that this Sky City secret realm is different from other secret realms. Each trainer has an independent secret realm space maze, so Yang Yu doesn't know the progress of other trainers. Of course, Yang Yu didn't know that the thunderous move of his salted fish king combined with the thunderous roar had destroyed the maze path that countless trainers wanted to move forward on. Even if you know, Yang Yu will also roll his eyes. Blame me? All I can say is, it's urgent. No one knows what kind of terrible disaster happened to the destroyed Lake of Mirrors on the other side. Only Yang Yu can find out in person. King Salted Fish, let's speed up and charge. Ho ho ho. Roar. The two blue figures in the sky seemed to be surrounded by the sound of breaking through the air, and their speed suddenly increased. That's it? That's it? Is it that easy to pass through the secret realm? Wu Yuqian sat on Geranium's back and followed Kentaro almost through the last part of the journey. It's going to rain that day, and my mother is going to get married. The luck is coming, and nothing can stop it. Wu Yuqian felt that this was the easiest secret realm to clear in history. Except for the fact that the oversized and strong green caterpillar was difficult for Wu Yuqian to accept at first, and even a little embarrassing. Along the way, he found the correct posture, rushed all the way, and that was it. Finally. That's it? It's so simple, how dare you call this a secret maze? Moo. After the last step, the Kentaro cow was destroyed. This walking posture, holding the cow's hooves, raising its head and chest, squinting its eyes and wagging its tail, made it feel like it was heaven. Huh. Two bursts of hot breath came out of his nostrils. But that's it, it's trivial, there is no difficulty at all. Seeing Kentaro's performance of wanting to go to heaven, Wu Yuqian was in a good mood, so he rewarded this reckless bull. Come out, milk jug. Moo moo. Kentaro ran over in a hurry, very satisfied with the reward, and started flirting with the milk can happily. Geranium, let's take a break and replenish our strength. Choo choo choo. After running all the way, we finally arrived at a relatively open plain area. There are no winding walls ahead, nor are there any trees blocking the path. However, the sky seemed a little dark at the end of his sight, but Wu Yuqian didn't care. Now, it was time to reward himself and his elf. I don't know how junior brother Han Yangyu is doing now. Wu Yuqian ate some snacks and missed Yangyu's dumb king. Wu Yuqian thought he could take advantage of Yangyu after entering the secret realm. Eat, but who would have thought that such a thing like one person and one maze would happen? Wu Yuqian didn't even prepare instant noodles. He could only eat pitiful snacks and tropical fruits growing under the neck of the tropical dragon for the past 2 days. Fortunately, Wu Yuqian also had milk cans and pots, so he would not treat his stomach badly during the journey. However, as Wu Yuqian ate, whether it was Kentaro or geranium, especially the dream-inducing tapir who had been guarding Wu Yuqian, he felt with keen awareness that something was not quite right about the surrounding situation, and suddenly they formed a triangular posture to protect Wu Yuqian and the milk can. At the same time, Tropical Dragon instantly rose into the air and protected Wu Yuqian. What's wrong? Wu Yuqian was stunned for a moment, then his face turned aside. The moment he stood up, a few biscuits accidentally fell from his hand and rolled to the front. Several pools of flowing purple-green viscous liquid appeared from nowhere. At this time, it had passed through the cover of the plain ground and was about to approach Wu Yuqian. Stinky, stinky mud, stinky mud. Wu Yuqian rubbed his eyes and made a dong sound in his throat, fearing that his eyes were wrong. Here, why is there green stinky mud? No, it's not green, it's purple-green stinky mud. The elves around Wu Yuqian, including the milk can, were instantly prepared. But, why are these stinky mud, completely different from the stinky mud in the garbage dump or sewer? Is it the new stinky mud in the Sky City? Wu Yuqian didn't have time to think about it. Because the thick mud at the front moved. The dream-inducing tapir narrowed his eyes. Once the smelly mud in front of him breaks through to a range that threatens Wu Yuqian's safety. If a tapir is attracted to a dream, he will use his mental strength to attack without mercy. However, the one at the front quietly raised its eyes, like a dirty little animal emerging from the sewer. Although its body was very dirty, its eyes were still very bright. This stinky mud stretched out its sticky little hand. Once, twice. With lightning speed, he instantly hid the 2 biscuits that Wu Yuqian had dropped on the ground in his arms. There were very few cookies, only 2. Xiao Xianyi turned around. Although Wu Yuqian didn't know what the little smelly mud was doing, he saw that the 2 biscuits were divided into unknown portions by the little smelly mud at the front, and divided into countless small pieces, passing through the mud flowing around him. A piece of land was passed on. Ah! Oh no! What makes Wu Yuqian incredible is yet to come. These small biscuits pass through the smelly mud and eventually flow into the hands of the smaller smelly mud. No one wants to possess even a small piece of biscuit crumbs. Ah! Ah! When the little stinky muds ate the biscuits as if they were treasures, the stinky mud and stinky mud started to boil in an instant. Perhaps feeling the vigilance of the elves on Wu Yuqian's side, the smelly mud and the smelly mud quickly changed back to their original mud forms, preparing to leave in a flowing manner. Wait a minute. Wu Yuqian didn't know why he spoke, but it was like he had an impulse that made him speak uncontrollably. The stinky mud and stinky mud that had returned to the form of mud suddenly stopped. I have a lot of cookies here. Do you want them? Wu Yuqian stretched out his hand nervously and handed out all the remaining cookies. You stinky mud, look at me and I'll look at you. Oh. You know, in this space, no elves like them, all elves reject them, and even here, only elves like stinky mud and stinky mud are left. I'll put it here, and I'll take the plastic away. This thing doesn't taste good. Wu Yuqian was also uneasy, fearing that the smelly mud and smelly mud would suddenly rise up, but still did it? Perhaps these stinky mud and stinking mud are like those wandering elves that wander in the city and live in unknown dirty sewers, which makes Wu Yuqian feel unbearable. Perhaps this is the difference in the secret realm of Sky City. These stinky mud, because they grew up in this secret realm, the food is not stinky garbage, so, they don't have that extremely stinky smell. I'll leave first, I'll leave first. Wu Yuqian carefully stepped back step by step, leaving the safe distance to Xiao Ni and Xiao Ni. Facing the biscuits in front of him, the eyes of the little one at the front lit up again, carefully coming up, and coming up again. Kentaro, the dream-inducing taper, geranium, restrain your hostility a little. Wu Yu was extremely nervous. He hoped that this little stinky mud could accept this small kindness. Yahoo! This little stinker picked up a small piece of biscuit and pointed in his direction with the other hand. His eyes that suddenly brightened up, as if asking again. Are these, for them? Wu Yuqian nodded vigorously, eat slowly, if it's not enough, I still have biscuits here, but I don't have any instant noodles. This time, Xiao Ziani opened his hands, hugged all the cookies, and then stepped back step by step. Still the same action as before. Break it apart, break it apart, break it apart again. Pass it on piece by piece toward the back. Wu Yuqian's eyes were suddenly filled with shock. The whole plain before me. Everything started to surge. This is, a whole group of stinky mud, stinky mud. Why is there so much smelly mud and smelly mud? Yo! After the biscuits were distributed, the little one turned around and opened a big embrace to Wu Yuqian, his eyes full of longing. Can I, hold mud? At the same time. On the other side of the mirror gate. Yang Yu, who was preparing to rebuild the lake of mirrors from the inside of the secret realm, swallowed hard as he looked at the scene in front of him. He finally knew why so many elves left this place. This place has been occupied by piles of stinky mud and stinky mud. Even the mirror gate that connects the mirror lake to the inner secret realm. Also blocked by stinky mud, stinky mud. There is so much stinky mud and stinky mud, how can we rebuild the lake of mirrors? Yang Yu was dumbfounded. The lake here has long since dried up, and there are probably tens of thousands of stinky slimes in the entire area, right? Even if we move a few stinky muds at once, we have to make 1,000 trips. It's just, why are the heads of these stinky mud all green? What kind of stinky mud is this? The stinky mud in Alola is poisonous and evil. Could it be, this is it, the stinky mud with dual elements of poison and grass unique to Sky City? Grass. At this moment, these stinky mud seemed to hear the call of some voice. In an instant, they passed through the channel at the bottom of the lake and rushed towards the lake of mirrors outside. What happened? There was a stinky mud riot outside the lake of mirrors, right? Yang Yu was suddenly shocked. Oh no. Please vote. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Pokemon's Character Master. Author, Ai Ren Huo Xiao. Chapter 703. Yang Yu did not act rashly. This is the stinking mud and stinky mud of a group. If they are angered, Yang Yu believes that not only will it be impossible to rebuild the Lake of Mirrors, it may even cause turmoil in the secret realm. Yang Yu observed very carefully, and he saw some very incredible things from the behavior of these stinky mud and stinky mud. When these stinky mud turned into mud and left, there was no odor in the territory occupied by them. In some places, you can even see the animals raised by these stinky mud and stinky mud. Some flowers. Is this still the smelly mud that Yang Yu remembered? These stinky mud, actually derived grass-type attributes. The muddy land here is very fertile soil. If there are grass-type elves here, the poisonous attributes of the stinky mud are derived from grass-type attributes. After neutralization, it will even be very conducive to the growth of grass elves. Reggie Locke couldn't help but be shocked. This is the magic of the elf world. You don't have to have grass elves. If you have the help of these stinky mud, you can transform those barren soils, plant more trees, and effectively curb the desertification of the far-flung lands. Yang Yu was no longer satisfied. You know what to say. For the Lake of Mirrors, this stinking mud blocked the passage to the secret realm. Although it did not completely damage the environment, it was a disaster in the eyes of other elves in the secret realm. This is an abandoned, forgotten land. However, if these stinky mud leave the Sky City and are brought to the outside world, it will be a type of elves that will benefit one party. What is the reason for them to evolve from poison to poison and grass elves? They have completely different temperaments from the stinky mud in the city's stinking ditches. Yang Yu was silent. This answer is already somewhat clear, even a little scary. Among trainers in the city, no one would like elves like stinky mud. Only smelly ditches or garbage dumps are their destination. Although no elves like the smelly mud in the secret realm of Sky City, the smelly mud themselves are not willing to let the entire beautiful secret realm fall into an unsolvable mire because of themselves. The soil and water support the people. How can a piece of water and soil not support a piece of spirit? Fortunately, it's not the poisonous and evil stinky mud in Alola, otherwise, it would be terrible. Yang Yu breathed a sigh of relief. Greener is better, and indeed greener is better. The heads of these poisonous and grassy smelly muds are green. This is the first time that Yang Yu feels that green is an extremely wonderful color. Just what comes next? Yang Yu turned his attention to Domali. Great beauty. Yi. Yi. The big beauty closed her eyes and bit her lip and shook her head desperately, her two pink hair like fins swaying like a rattle. I do not want. Salted Fish King. The Salted Fish King took one look at the muddy environment and moved to the side, making way for little Bao Bao. He gestured with his beard to indicate that he was so big that he might not be able to get through the mirror door over there. His eyes focused on Xiao Bao Bao. Xiao Bao Bao. It was such a happy decision. After all, the environment here is incomparable to the previous Lake of Mirrors. After the stinky mud turn into sludge and recede, this place will be an underground cave. The water here seems to have dried up long ago, and there are not as many small and cute water elves as there were before. It is understandable that the beauty does not want to enter. After all, too much sludge. The bigger Salted Fish King and the smaller little Bao Bao, then naturally only little Bao Bao will come. Poppy. Little Dream Demon and Tijipai simply abandoned the mini dragon and came to stand on little Bang Bao's head. Although Guiguabu Frog's expression was very dull, he still looked enviously at the little Dream Demon and Tijipai who could stand on the head of little Bao Bao. The mini dragon hung on Dudu's neck and rested for a while. Tijipai kept holding its neck, which made his neck sore. Yang Yu put away Great Beauty and Salted Fish King, sat on little Bao Bao's back, and entered the underground world connected to the mirror lake of the outside world. It feels completely different from the Lake of Mirrors I visited before. It may feel a bit more eerie here. Little Bao Bao, let's fly slower and try not to arouse the hostility of these stinky mud. Yang Yu said cautiously. In the city, the stinking mud in the stinking ditches is very concerned about its territory. If someone or an elf breaks into its territory, it will become furious and take action. Although the smelly mud here are completely different from the smelly mud in those stinking ditches, it is still important to be cautious. Dede continued to protect Yang Yu, and at the same time protected Xiao Bao Bao from being contaminated by the sludge dripping from above. Although Stormtrooper during the Magi-Carp era was very used to digging into the mud at the bottom of the pond, but the elf will grow up too. Now Gyarados is a majestic gym-level Gyarados. Just like a child who likes to play in the mud, when he grows up, he naturally loves to save face. Yang Yu originally thought that the underground environment would be as dirty as mud, but Yang Yu was wrong, very wrong. No matter who you are, you are used to using your own subjective will to judge your opinion of a person, and you even feel complacent because you think you can see it at a glance. Just like the leader of the smelly mud that Xiaozai fostered in Dr. Oak's house, the smelly mud at the beginning had a bad temper and even had an unspeakable stench. However, under the cultivation of Dr. Oak, it became extremely clingy, and at the same time, the stench on his body gradually subsided. Is this, really the territory of stinky mud? Sludge is inevitable, but, there is actually an extremely clean water pool here. This is what shocked Yang Yu. Yang Yu could hear the gurgling sound of water in the pool, which may be the underground water that originally formed the Lake of Mirrors. When these stinking mud turned into sludge and flowed forward, none of them touched the position of the pool. What even surprised Yang Yu was that there seemed to be tools for scooping water, although they were just simple leaves. But the stinky mud here, is not simple, Reggie Locke whispered. Yang Yu strongly agreed. Among these stinky mud groups, there must be a very amazing leader. It was even under the leadership of that stinky mud leader that such an incredible change occurred. This is not just a simple creation of a group, but also a group of unparalleled wisdom. Yang Yu even had a somewhat absurd feeling in his heart. He actually couldn't wait to see the leader of the stinky mud tribe one day. Where is the smelly mud here? The fragrant mud is nothing more than that, it's simply too fragrant. Little Bao flew very slowly. The stinky mud below do not move very fast after forming into sludge, but the densely packed group of elves, as if at a market party, are still very spectacular. Yang Yu really didn't expect that one day he would be shocked by little elves like Stinky Mud. Now Yang Yu was beginning to get extremely entangled in his heart. If he wanted to rebuild the Lake of Mirrors, he would have to let these stinky muds go. Stinky mud, get out of here. These stinky slimes, are they wrong? They just want to live a better life. No matter what kind of elves they are, they have the right to survive. Where can I put them? But Yang Yu saw these stinky mud that were completely different from what he imagined. If these elves, who had even begun to leave a good impression on Yang Yu's heart, moved away from his home, Yang Yu felt very unbearable. How to do this? How should we settle these stinky mud? This question is simply torturing people. Suddenly, the flying little Bao stopped. Why don't you continue flying? Yang Yu asked subconsciously. Poppy. It's not that little Bao doesn't keep flying forward, but the intersection ahead. Too narrow. Little Bao can only fly to this place. If he continues forward, Yang Yu's head will hit the wall above, and little Bao will also lose calories. The bright place in front is the mirror door. Could it be that, we have to walk there? Yang Yu swallowed his saliva hard. In the end, who is going to be stained with this mud, or is he? What should I do? I can only get down and walk. Grass. Forget it, if the shoes are dirty they will be dirty anyway. At least there's no foul smell in the air here, and the ground shouldn't be too dirty either. Yang Yu came to the ground with Datu's help. Put away the croaking frog, put away the little Bao, hug Tijapai, wear the little dream monster on your head, and have the protection of Dude beside you, don't be too nervous. Only. It seems like it was discovered. The flowing sludge raised its head one by one, like a demon emerging from the ground, putting great pressure on Yang Yu in this dark place. Yeah, Data greeted in a friendly manner. Although these smelly mud were wary, they were not malicious. Because Yang Yu he stayed here and did not release any hostile atmosphere. These stinky mud said that they saw other elves for the first time and wanted to take us to see their king. Reggie Locke said, it seems that there is no harm. Dada said to Yang Yu not to be afraid. Reggie Locke and Dede both said this, and Yang Yu also breathed a sigh of relief. Poppy, Pokeby swayed joyfully in Yang Yu's arms again. Backing section. Meng Hao, could you please Xiao Ni to lead the way. Yang Yu cupped his hand to express his gratitude. It was the first time for Wu Yuqian to meet such an unusual little smelly boy. This little one even has two small flower patterns on the left and right sides. I don't know why, but the stinky slimes around me seem to respect this little stinky slime. To be honest, Wu Yuqian never thought that one day he would have a big hug with a smelly mud. What kind of magical world is this? Ah! Suddenly, a little smelly mud came over in a hurry and said something to the little smelly mud next to Wu Yuqian. The little smelly mud's eyes lit up. What happened? Wu Yuqian asked curiously. Yo. The little brat nodded, and then took a deep breath. Under Wu Yuqian's extremely surprised gaze, the body of the brat began to expand like a balloon. Gradually. Higher than Wu Yuqian, higher than geranium, higher than tropical flying dragon. Wu Yuqian. Damn it, this size, I'm afraid it can compete with Kirbaimon, right? Wait, shit. Is this the little brat that Wu Yuqian hugged just now? Wu Yuqian was confused for a moment. Before, Wu Yuqian had to bend down to hug Wu Yuqian, Xiao Bulaji. Now, Xiao Xiani had to bend down to hug Wu Yuqian, right? This little smelly mud signaled Wu Yuqian to hide behind it. It seems that some elf claiming to be called patron sect Meng Hao is coming here later. He doesn't know what kind of elf he is. He was afraid that he would look too ugly and frighten Wu Yuqian. Not to mention that Wu was rich, everyone in Meng Taper felt frightened. Fortunately, I only had the necessary hostility to be vigilant and did not take action, otherwise the consequences could be disastrous. Are you the leader of these stinky mud? Wu Yuqian made a difficult gesture. This sudden change of scene is really, it makes Wu Yuqian feel incredible. Xiao Xiani nodded. Xiao Xiani also made some gestures. It means that Wu Yuqian is the only person who is willing to get close to it since its birth, and is even willing to share delicious food with them. The other elves in this world are not willing to get close to it, and are even afraid of it. Afraid of the smelly mud here. Wu Yuqian was a little silent when there was a man who used his superpower to form words for translation. Yes. They are stinky mud. No matter how they change, they are still stinky mud. This is a fact that cannot be changed. If you don't love, please don't hurt. But who will actually do this? Wu Yuqian would feel uncomfortable seeing them for the first time. Now, Wu Yuqian is willing to accept it with a hug, and it doesn't mind showing its true identity. This hug proved that Wu Yuqian had a warm heart. An unexpected voice appeared in Wu Yuqian's ears, and he even became extremely excited. This voice is simply not too familiar, okay. That is Han. Backing sect Meng Hao, I have met the leader of Smelly Ni. Wu Yuqian. Damn it, junior brother Han, why did you change your vest again? Han Li, the abandoned disciple of King Yun sect, became Meng Hao, the backer of the sect. Backer's own Meng Hao? Wu Yuqian suppressed his smile, patted Xiao Xiani on the back gently, and whispered that he knew this person. Just behind a huge smelly mud leader in front of Yang Yu, a figure that Yang Yu had never imagined appeared. Wu Yuqian suppressed the smile on his face, coughed lightly, and moved away vigorously. This damn Yang Yu really knows how to play. If he were an ordinary person, he would really be fooled by this Yang Yu. One after another, what about King Yun sect Han Li, what about backing sect Meng Hao? It's a pity that I met him. Wu Yuqian, senior brother Qian. Ahem, junior brother Meng, you're fine. Yang Yu, Sigma. Damn it, why is senior brother Qian here? Please vote. Pokemon's Character Master. Author, AI Ren Huo Chiang Xiao. Chapter 704. Is it irritating? Surprised or not? Is it surprising? Yang Yu is convinced that this place full of stinky mud is the Lake of Mirrors that was destroyed 24 years ago. The mirror gate in the lake is not far from here, but why is senior brother Qian here? Also, senior brother Qian seems to know the leader of Smelly Ni, and they have a good relationship. Seeing the joking expression on Wu Yuqian's face, Yang Yu felt like his head was exploding. Damn, how could it be such a coincidence? I just changed my vest, but I bumped into senior brother Qian. It's so sad. Leader Smelly Ni's eyes moved. Since he knew him, it would be easier to tell. Yeah, yeah. Dede said a friendly hello to the leader of Smelly Ni. After all, he is stupid, with a friendly aura, and his bright and innocent smile is the best expression. Poppy. Tijapai moved his hands up and down and kicked his feet. It was obvious that he was very happy. Yo. Following the order from the leader of Stinky Mud, and the Stinky Muds lifted their alert state. At the same time, the size of the leader of the Smelly Mud also began to gradually shrink, and then turned into the shape of a little smelly mud. Yumulu. Yang Yu. Isn't the gap between the one before and the other too big? Not only did the leader of the Smelly Mud block Wu Yuqian with his body, but there was also a dream-inducing taper and a tropical dragon behind him. The huge size just now was an ordinary-sized Kirby. I guess I have to kneel down to the leader of Smelly Ni. Now this little stinky mud. Yang Yu extremely suspected that this little stinky mud was covered in a stinky mud skin. In fact, inside it was a versatile monster that could be big or small and could transform into anything. Yang Yu, where did you appear from? Why didn't I see you flying in the sky? It's not empty here. Wu Yuqian stretched out his hand to Xiao Xianyi, and Xiao Xianyi just stretched out his hand and hung it on Wu Yuqian's hand. On the arm. If he hadn't seen it with his own eyes, Yang Yu would never have thought that such a small smelly slime could actually be the leader of an entire tribe. His current size is too foul. Besides, the relationship between senior brother Qian and it is also very good. I'm not flying in the sky, I'm flying underground. Brother Wu, look, there is a door leading to a deeper secret realm over there. Yang Yu pointed in the direction of the mirror door in the distance. This time it was Wu Yuqian's turn to be shocked. Yang Yu, what did you say? You said you came out of a deeper secret realm. Wu Yuqian smiled and suddenly got stuck here, and his jaw felt like it was about to drop. My mind is filled with woolly question marks. It hasn't been long since Wu Yuqian came out of the secret realm maze. He was fully prepared, and it was estimated that it would be less than an hour and a half. How many days had only passed in this secret realm? There are still 10 hours left on the third day, but Yang Yu has already broken into a deeper secret realm. Yang Yu is cheating again. Could it be because he changed his vest and changed from King Yun sect Han Li to patron sect Meng Hao, and directly started to run rampant in the secret realm of Sky City? Also, the name patron sect Meng Hao, what does this patron mean? Could it be Yang Yu found a supporter in a deeper secret realm? To be able to become one like me, junior brother Han, who would not hesitate to change his waistcoat and call himself patron sect Meng Hao, could it be that this patron is an elf at the level of a heavenly king? Yang Yu didn't know how many things Wu Yuqian had figured out in his mind at this moment, and even some things were very close to the truth. It's just that Yang Yu doesn't know whether he should tell senior brother Qian about some things about Mirror Lake. After all, it is also related to the survival of this group of Smelly Mud and Smelly Mud. This time, there is really a control. The feeling of embarrassment. Why, junior brother Han, is there anything else you can say that is so embarrassing? Wu Yuqian said with a smile. Yang Yu thought about it and decided that the sooner he informed senior brother Qian about this matter, the better. Since senior brother Qian had arrived at the Mirror Lake in advance, Yang Yu now had the secret about the Mirror Lake and was obliged to tell him, and, Yang Yu and Wu Yuqian may have to deal with some trainers' plans for another mirror lake in the future. Yang Yu came here because he wanted to communicate with the leader of Smelly Ni, but he didn't expect that senior brother Qian would be here. There are indeed some things, senior brother Qian, please listen to me slowly. This secret will also have something to do with the leader of Smelly Ni, but I think, no matter what, I hope we can find a way to solve this problem together. Yang Yu's tone became slightly more serious. When Wu Yuqian saw Yang Yu's tone becoming serious, he nodded and said, Yang Yu, you speak first. Senior brother Qian, the door I walked out of underground just now is called the mirror door. It is the entrance to the deeper secret realm inside the mirror lake, Yang Yu said in a deep voice. Wait a minute, where is the mirror gate, mirror lake, the lake? Wu Yuqian asked blankly, looking at the endless stinky mud in front of him. 24 years ago, the secret realm of Sky City also came to the outside world. At that time, a trainer entered the Lake of Mirrors. In order to find the secret of the Gate of Mirrors, he destroyed the Lake of Mirrors. Destroyed the Lake of Mirrors is right in front of you. Yang Yu pointed gently at the place where the stinky mud lived. I guess that stinky mud were born in the ruins of the destroyed Lake of Mirrors. Yo. Xiao Xiaoxiani, who was holding Wu Yuqian's arm, nodded in agreement. What Yang Yu said is right, this is its origin. It was born from these ruins, but the ruins are already history. Because with the efforts of it and its tribe, the stinky mud, this ruins have been cleaned up and rebuilt. It took everyone more than 10 years to make the original ruins of Lake of Mirrors. It became the grand scene in front of us now. Little Stinky Ni never cares about his humble background, because this is life. No matter where he goes, he can find his own path to flourish. Other elves in the secret realm don't like them, smelly mud, so little Skunky Mud is determined to make their lives better than those of other elves. With the efforts of Xiao Ni, this place has become their paradise, but Xiao Ni will not forget the most difficult period of his birth. Starting from eating the dirt in the ruins, the stinky mud had a real stench at that time. It is precisely because of this that they have always been disgusted by the elves in the secret realm. But later, all the black soil in the ruins was eaten up. Without the foul-smelling food, where would they go? The little smelly mud was once confused, but then, I don't know when a seed fell on it, and later even a small grass grew. However, because they kept eating the foul-smelling soil in the ruins, this time a small piece of grass quickly becomes withered and yellow. Maybe it was that moment that made the change. The birth of the Lake of Mirrors Stinky Mud and the Stinky Mud were originally born because of humans. I am afraid that the human trainer who destroyed the Lake of Mirrors himself did not expect that the growth path of the Stinky Mud was because the secret realm was too beautiful. Let Xiao Ni choose to make new changes in their hearts. Why destroy such a beautiful place? But it was the human trainer who destroyed the Lake of Mirrors, so why should the fault fall on the heads of Stinky Mud? Is it because the names of these elves are Stinky Mud? This damn greed. Wu Yuqian's heart was filled with anger that had nowhere to express it. After all, he was also an emotional trainer full of justice. You must have a hard time here. Wu Yuqian was filled with emotion. How much courage does it take to lead an entire tribe of Stinky Mud on a path of change that cannot be seen ahead? Perhaps Wu Yuqian also understood why this little smelly mud had the supreme status among the smelly mud, and even all the smelly mud respected it so much. Perhaps, among this group of smelly mud, little smelly mud is the incarnation of spirit. Perhaps it is more appropriate to call it another word. God. Yo. These past experiences are Xiao Ni's wealth. It is also the basis for these Stinky Mud to have such a hard-won life. This is probably the feeling of the predecessors planted trees and the next generation enjoys the shade. Yang Yu knew in his heart that it was precisely because the leader of the smelly mud took these smelly mud to transform the ruins of the original Lake of Mirrors into such a beautiful scenery with blooming flowers and green grass all around that Yang Yu's subsequent words it's hard to speak. If these smelly mud are poisonous and evil spirits from the Alola region, and cause catastrophic changes in the environment around the Lake of Mirrors, then there is no need to say anything more. Just summon Salty Fish King. Water splashing, earthquake. The water splashing and the earthquake were all over, but now these stinky mud, but with their own hands, they turned this area that was very likely to turn into a disaster into a beautiful secret realm that was no less beautiful than the Mirror Lake secret realm. Except that there is a little more smelly mud. But this is not their fault. Seeing Yang Yu's unspeakable expression, Wu Yuqian guessed what Yang Yu wanted to say. Yang Yu, the reason why you came here before was because you wanted to rebuild the Lake of Mirrors, right? Yang Yu nodded awkwardly and quickly added, I thought the environment here would be very bad, but I never expected that under the wise leadership of the leader of Smelly Ni, the ruins of the former Lake of Mirrors would be transformed into such a perfect place. Wu Yuqian looked in the direction of Xiao Xianyi, and his expression was indeed a little strange. If you hadn't seen it with your own eyes, who would have imagined the smelly mud here? Could it be an elf with both poison and grass elements? Look at these stinky mud, they are actually bathing in the sunlight high in the sky, and they even have a look of enjoyment on their faces. If this is the stinking mud in the city sewers, it will definitely hate the sun. As a leader, Xiao Xianyi is really incredible. Wu Yuqian couldn't help but reach out and touch the mark of the two little flowers on the little stinky mud head. Yo-oh! Yo-oh! Xiao Xianyi had never felt such friendly contact, and his heart felt even warmer. Junior brother Han, what are you going to do next? This matter is not easy to deal with. Wu Yuqian didn't have any good ideas now. Between smart people, nothing needs to be said. Rebuilding the secret realm of Lake of Mirrors will inevitably affect the survival of these smelly mud. How easy is it to solve this matter? Unless they can be arranged in a suitable living environment, it will be really difficult to solve. And at this moment, these stinky mud basking in the sun seemed to feel an unspeakable vibration in the ground, and suddenly began to stir up some chaos. What's wrong? Wu Yuqian's expression condensed. It's an earthquake. There is a connection between the three mirror lakes. Reggie Locke suddenly spoke up under his golden conch hat. Yang Yu's expression suddenly changed. Oops. There's something wrong with the third Lake of Mirrors. What? Asking for votes. Pokemon's Character Master. Author, AI Renhuo Qiangxiao. Chapter 705. Searching for the Secret of the Door of Life. Professor Planzeisen once said that the secret lies in this Lake of Mirrors. If you still can't find the Door of Life using superpowers, then use the most primitive method to destroy the Lake of Mirrors and let all the pure water in the Lake of Mirrors drain away. In this way, the Door of Life will open. No matter what, let's eliminate all the weak elite trainers in some secret realm mazes first. With this little strength, you want to enter the secret realm of Sky City to explore the secret realm? Just dream. With so many people coming to explore, does Sky City have enough resources to allocate it? It's better to reduce some pressure on the secret realm of Sky City. Astrid looked at the bottom of the Lake of Mirrors with cold eyes. She has a secret labyrinth that can affect 1/3 of the entire secret realm through the Lake of Mirrors. Boscodora, earthquake. In the reflection of the Lake of Mirrors, Astrid could see her young and beautiful face, but the sneer on her lips and the instructions she gave were extremely ruthless. As the warrior eagle beside him rose into the sky, Boscodora, who was wearing hard dark black armor next to the Lake of Mirrors, with silver cold light shining on his shoulders and head, his eyes revealed violent ferocity, and he raised his head to the sky and made a metallic sound. Roar! Roar! Boscodora's body condensed the terrifying power of the earth, and his steel-like fists burst out with extremely terrifying impact speed. When those extremely hard iron fists fiercely injected the vibrating force into the surface. Click, click, click. Around the body of Boscodora, uncontrollable cracks revealed a ferocious face, ripping apart mercilessly towards the lake of mirrors. The secret labyrinth. Boom 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 boom. What happened? Oh no. It's an earthquake. Earthquake? Is there an earthquake in the secret labyrinth? Is it starting to rain at this time? Oops, the road ahead is starting to collapse. Dujule, turn around and run. Wind speed dog, let's go, we can't stay in this secret realm any longer. There's an earthquake ahead, and rain is falling from the sky. Wind speed dog, hurry, let's get back to the entrance of the secret realm. The secret labyrinth below instantly fell into chaos. No one expected that in this secret labyrinth, an earthquake would suddenly begin. A gift for the weak, I hope they will like it. Astrid straightened her hair and lifted a strand of gold wire to her ear. Boscodora, well done. Astrid looked at the mirror lake, which was still calm after the earthquake, and was a little surprised. Then her expression became natural. The mirror lake is indeed difficult to destroy. It's a pity that the secret of the door of life is hidden too deep. In order to find it, it can only destroy you. Astrid murmured, and her eyes became sharp again. In order to obtain the secret about the gate of life in the secret realm of Sky City, even if it means destroying the lake of mirrors, so what? 2 elf balls appeared in his hand again. Go, Steel Snake, go, Swampert. Oh! Following a dull roar that seemed to emerge from the ground, a terrifying 10-meter-long steel giant snake appeared around the lake of mirrors. The body of the steel snake, as deep as silver in the deep sea, shimmered in the lake of mirrors. There is a deep dark light, and the joints make a harsh click-click sound. This giant steel snake has dark red eyes and is extremely ferocious. Right next to the big steel snake, the giant swamp monster's arms were ready, and the muscles that bulged from time to time were full of great explosive power. To destroy this lake of mirrors and let the gate of life appear in the lake of mirrors, it is not enough to rely solely on the earthquake of Boscodora. Now, Boscodora, the big steel snake, and the giant swamp monster, use earthquake. Destroy this lake of mirrors, and look for the door of life. Astrid's fingertips fell. This time, she was determined to find the information about the door of life in Professor Planzeisen's notes before his death. The secret of the door. This will open a new era in the elf world. Astrid's eyes began to sparkle with true madness. If you master the secret of the door of life, King of Heaven, can that be far behind? Boom 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 boom. But before Boscodora, Big Steel Snake and Giant Swampert could use earthquake, not far from the Lake of Mirrors, a line of sight appeared. Purple-green terrifying waves. It's coming in this direction quickly. What is this? Astrid's pupils shrank, and when she looked towards the distant horizon, she was instantly frightened. Each Lake of Mirrors, isn't there only one person who can get here? Who are they? Who are they? How could they appear here? Gyarados, Minas, this is this Chinese trainer Yang Yu? Baidiao, Tropical Dragon, are the elves of Chinese trainer Wu Yuqian. How could they be so fast? Why could they come to this lake of mirrors? This is impossible, this is impossible. Astrid's expression was extremely shocked. You must know that when the secret realm of Sky City comes to Sakura Kingdom, it is guarded by Sakura Kingdom's king-level trainer Ritsu Watanabe. Trainers from other countries and regions must enter the secret realm of Sky City 12 hours after the secret realm arrives. Astrid once thought that the trainer who first found the Lake of Mirrors and caused thunder was the famous gym-level trainer Koike Tetsuya from Sakura Country. However, when Yang Yu and Wu Yuqian's logo elves appeared in front of her, I feel like my cognition is beginning to collapse. How could these be two Chinese trainers? And the huge billowing purple-green waves that fill the sky like swarms of rocks falling from behind, What the hell is going on? Roar. Yee. Hold head high. This is the first time that Salty Fish King and Male have jointly led a team, and it is also the first time that they have used the power of surfing to drive huge waves of sludge, and take a whole group of Stinky Mud and Stinky Mud out into battle. These Stinky Mud and Stinky Mud have never experienced such an awesome and interesting position. I have played with all the mud together, but like this it turned into a torrential wave. Oh no. Ah. The waves have their own sound effects, and although the colors do look a bit different, even if they are stinky mud, it doesn't stop them from protecting their home. Xiao Xiao Ni hung directly on Wu Yuqian's back. Wu Yuqian seemed to be carrying a purple-green skull bag. This was the first time for Xiao Xiao Ni to experience the feeling of flying at high speed, which made him feel recognized. Of endless joy. Although Stinky Mud and Stinky Mud are rejected by the elves in the secret realm, they are very willing to defend their homeland. After experiencing post-disaster reconstruction, no other elves know how to cherish the beauty in front of them better than little Stinky Mud. Destruction only takes a moment. Reconstruction will take years or even decades. Even if some things are destroyed, they can never be rebuilt again. Little Stinky Ni has never been so angry. It wants to make the human trainers who destroyed the Lake of Mirrors pay the price they deserve. This time, Big Beauty did not refuse to use surfing to lead this group of Stinky Mud and Stinky Mud forward. Yang Yu's eyes fell on the blonde female trainer behind the warrior eagle in the sky. He had never had such a strong desire to beat a woman to tears, and even, he wanted to make her cry completely to make her understand. What is Yang Yu's anger? It's Astrid. The youngest gym-level trainer in North America, even with Wu Yuqian's usually calm temper, he was also gritting his teeth at this moment. If we talk about the destruction of Mirror Lake 24 years ago, it has nothing to do with the trainers in that area. I won't believe it even if you beat them to death. It doesn't matter who she is, ES or Tread, whether she is a gym or not, North American trainers are amazing, right? No matter how young she is as young as me. No matter how awesome she is as awesome as me. Wu Yuqian. Pour tea for junior brother Han. Salted Fish King, Big Beauty, Little Bayo, give me a try. She must be lucky that she hasn't destroyed Mirror Lake yet, otherwise, I will let her be buried with Mirror Lake. Yang Yu's eyes were cold. This should be the first time he felt murderous intention from the bottom of his heart. If there wasn't an incredible leader like Little Stinky Mud leading the entire Stinky Mud and Stinky Mud tribe to the bright road, once a poisonous and evil type like the hell demons like the Alola region were born, the consequences would be unimaginable. The entire elven world is protecting the elven secret realm in its own country. The city in the sky, isn't it the secret realm of this elven world? This is selfishness. For the sake of selfish desires, destroy the Lake of Mirrors and destroy the source of life in the secret realm of Sky City. Astrid, you also pissed me off, Wu Yuqian. Xiao Xiaoni's anger is Wu Yuqian's anger. Xiao Xiaoni wants to seduce her, and Wu Yuqian, naturally wants to seduce her too. Wu Yuqian has it in his hands. There is an extra bracelet. In the bracelet, two mysterious stones quietly form a perfect circular pattern. Big Steel Snake. Boss Cordera. Swampert. Haha, the elves are pretty good. The powerful elves don't let you destroy the world, but let you protect the elven world. Trying to destroy the Lake of Mirrors, just dream. Climb for me. Feeling the surging anger in Yang Yu's heart, the ferocious eyes of the Salted Fish King began to turn completely scarlet. Click, click, click. When all the scales on the Salted Fish King's body began to make harsh friction sounds, the terrifying vitality caused the Salted Fish King's whole body to begin to grow violently. When a flash of bright red appeared from the proud head of the Salted Fish King, it soaked into the entire body of the Salted Fish King almost in an instant. Anger, Red Lotus form. Roar. The salted fish king revealed his bloody fangs, and in the heart-stopping abyss mouth, flames and thunder suddenly condensed. Shenlong destruction slash. Since I want to destroy the Lake of Mirrors, then I'll destroy you first. Turn anger into thunder and make the sky clear for all eternity. Please vote. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Pokemon's Character Master. Author, Ai Ren Huo Xiangxiao. Chapter 706. This is impossible, what form of Gyarados is this? Even if it is the super evolution of Gyarados, why is it still flying so fast? Astrid didn't have time to think about the situation at this time. She knew very well that the appearance of two Chinese trainers, Yang Yu and Wu Yuqian, would definitely ruin her good deeds. The secrets related to the Gate of Life, an important experiment of the late Professor Planzeisen, and the key to the mission of finding the life crystal, must not be leaked from her hands. However, maybe I can use these two Chinese trainer elves, to help me destroy this Lake of Mirrors. Astrid smiled strangely, but she looked up again and saw the giant scarlet Gyarados in the sky. Her heart trembled again. She forced herself to calm down and immediately issued an order, Boscodora, hold on, prepare for a metal explosion. Big Steel Snake, Quicksand Hell prepares to defend, Swampert, spread out the formation, counter-attack from the flanks. Come out, Moon Eevee, Bulbasaur. Evil waves are growing crazily, stop them from me. Astrid's combat experience is not lacking. She immediately made an all-out defense. She just saw the light of destruction that struck from a distance like fire and thunder, exuding a level beyond the gym level. That aura of silence, still made her tremble. This Gyarados of Chinese trainer Yang Yu, is quite controversial in North America. The strong physical attack ability itself is a characteristic of elves like Gyarados, but Yang Yu's giant Gyarados also has the same mastery. With incredible special attack strength, as the youngest gym-level trainer in North America, Astrid never believed this news before. How can any Gyarados have a special attack that is even more powerful than its physical attack? It's just a smoke bomb released by the Chinese Elf Alliance, right? But now, Astrid had to be shocked by the fact before her eyes. The giant Gyarados of the Chinese trainer Yang Yu, had special attack capabilities that were even more explosive than some special attack elves of the same strength. Junior brother Han, take action with confidence and boldness. Leave it to me to protect the Lake of Mirrors from being destroyed by the aftermath of the move, Wu Yuqian said loudly. Yo! Little Stinky Ni waved his fist forward. The Stinky Mud Army and the Stinky Mud Army rolled in through the surf, just to protect this square mirror lake. They will use their bodies, as a strong backing. If there are cracks in the ground of Mirror Lake, they will get into the cracks to protect the clear water of Mirror Lake from running out. They will use grass-type moves to wrap their bodies and use the cleanest and neatest side to best protect the Lake of Mirrors. Stay. Yeah. Stay prepared. Help the Smelly Mud and Smelly Mud carry out photosynthesis and use Sunny Sky. Yang Yu's expression did not relax for a moment. Next, he would hand over the battlefield to the Salted Fish King, De Melee, and Xiao Baobao. He would go behind Wu Yuqian's tropical dragon and give full command. Roar. The scorching dragon's anger, the raging 100,000 volts in the flaming pillar of light, seemed to form a winding and circling pattern like a golden dragon, just like the patterns on the East China Sea Dragon King's sea-fixing needle. The bursting breath of thunder, in this raging rage, the two major moves of Dragon's Wrath and 100,000 volts become even more terrifying and their momentum even more violent. The rolling quicksand hell was unleashed in front of the big steel snake, which was destroying the soil around the Lake of Mirrors and serving as the first line of defense against this terrifying thunder and angry beam of light. At the same time, Bulbasaur flowers grow wildly and lay down layer after layer of huge vine whip walls, which serve as the second line of defense after the quicksand hell weakens the light beam. Boss Cordera and Big Steel Snake are not afraid of any head-on confrontation. Their outrageous defensive power can even defeat Gyarados. But this powerful beam of light that exudes the aura of death, is Astrid really afraid of the 100,000 volts in it? No, that's not the case. What Astrid is more worried about is this raging dragon's anger. This is no longer just as simple as one add one in the moves. The fusion of the two moves creates immeasurable chemical changes. An explosion caused by energy. The instantaneous high temperature, coupled with the original blazing flames, will make the Big Steel Snake and Boss Cordera unable to withstand this terrible high temperature. These two elves have frighteningly high physical defense capabilities, but special in terms of defense ability. It's a complete weakness. Boom. Instantly defeat the wave of evil, instantly defeat the first line of defense of the quicksand hell. The electric power is added to the dragon's fury, giving this move extraordinary penetrating ability, even if it is the quicksand hell swept by the Big Steel Snake. He is no match for this divine dragon's destruction slash. The terrifying heat of the dragon's fury, under the penetrating power of 100,000 volts, the crazy growth of the Bulbasaur flower was like a useless white paper, breaking through it like a piece of paper, and came to Boss Cordera's steel body above. Metal explosion, hold on, start to resist and accumulate strength. The terrifying high temperature turned Boss Cordeра's body red. Boss Cordeра's metal explosion was resisting the light pillar, and began to charge. If Boss Cordera is guarded and there is a metal explosion, he can completely unleash this terrifying Shenlong destruction slash with 1.5 times the power. In Astrid's plan, she wants to use Yang Yu's Scarlet Gyarados to complete the counter-attack and destroy the Lake of Mirrors at the same time. Are you going to stop me? Then try to stop me. Astrid's eyes flashed with incomparable madness. Boss Cordera's metal explosion was about to be fully charged, even if it was the super-evolved Gyarados. Dragon, how can it withstand the metal explosion that is 1.5 times more powerful than the dragon's destruction slash? Keep taking action. It's just a wedding dress. Yee. Just as a cruel look appeared at the corner of Astrid's mouth, an incredible blue flash came to her from far in the air almost instantly. Great beauty, water tail, release, dragon dance. This is Yang Yu's real surefire move in training de Melee. Dance of the Dragon, Yoga Poses, Curling Up. Three major moves that enhance attack power appear simultaneously on the beautiful girl's rubber-like body with extreme softness. Yoga postures are an indispensable link in coordinating the dragon dance and the coiled posture. All of this depends on the terrible flexibility of the great beauty itself. The mysterious dance of the dragon draws a blue curve in the air, and the blue light that lights up at the tail is the water tail that is effective against the Big Steel Snake and Boss Cordera. At this moment, Day controlled the effect of Great Sunny Day on the side of Smelly Ni and Smelly Ni that were surging forward like waves. It was accurate and would not affect Great Beauty in the process of enabling Smelly Ni and Smelly Ni to exert their own strength. Use any water-based moves? This is superpower, precise superpower. I saw the Great Beauty in the sky. When the cream-colored body lit up with smooth flashes, the enchanting yoga postures were curled up and performed simultaneously in the formation of the rhythm of the dragon dance. Yoga poses to improve one level of physical attack ability. Pan curled up to increase the beauty's physical attack, defense, and hit by one level. Dance of the Dragon, increase the physical attack and speed of the Great Beauty by one level. The incredible flexibility allowed Great Beauty to perform 3 dragon dances in the air at the same time, with 2 coiled-up movements mixed in. No one could tell that these 3 dragon dances were also mixed with 2 coiled-up movements. Effect. This also means, in this short moment of taking action, de Melee improved her physical attack ability, to the extreme. This is Tianlong Wu, the 4th gear of the Great Beautiful move. This moment, de Mei's body exudes terrifying power fluctuations, and even the Salted Fish King, Wants to go home and lie on the washboard. Terrifying speed, terrifying physical attack, and improved defense capabilities at the same time. Tianlongyu is the truly terrifying trump card of great beauty. Does Minaz still want to kill my big steel snake with a water tail trick in seconds? Astrid feels that this world is really funny. Even if Gyarados comes, no matter if it uses Dragon Dance, no matter if it uses Water Tail, the terrifying defensive power of Big Steel Snake and Boss Cordera can still resist the Water Tail that restrains their attributes. The Big Steel Snake and Boss Cordera are Astrid's pride. Even Williams, the North American King-level trainer, praised her two powerful gym-level Steel Elves. Unless it is a special attack move that restrains their attributes, it is possible to defeat the Big Steel Snake and Boss with one move. Cordera, as for Water-type physical moves, Astrid personally tested it at the North American Water Gym. Wilson, the Water Gym leader's gym-level Gyarados, used Dragon Dance twice, but her Big Steel Snake and Boss Cordera were not killed instantly. Now, come on, Menus is not Gyarados. Even Gyarados can't kill the Big Steel Snake and Boss Cordera, can Minas kill him? So what if I let you perform Dragon Dance? Come and see in 1 second. Astrid couldn't help but have a look of ridicule on her lips. It's a pity that Minas, a beautiful elf that is extremely rare in the entire elf world, met a trainer with some brain problems. How did this guy defeat the Water Gym leader? Big Steel Snake, heavy impact. Astrid looked coldly at Minas's tail, which had already lit up with azure light, and issued an attack command. The Big Steel Snake's whole body is as heavy as steel. When facing Minas, it will undoubtedly be an absolute crushing and heavy impact. When the opponent is lighter, the power of the heavy impact will be greater. If it is the Scarlet One, Gyarados is coming. Astrid also had to consider whether the power of using a heavy impact would be too small, but her opponent was Minas, whose weight was incomparable to that of the Big Steel Snake. Oh dash! Click, click, click. The huge body of the Big Steel Snake raised its extremely huge body, and its pair of crimson ferocious eyes mercilessly slammed into the direction of the Big Beauty. Heavy impact, the move lives up to its name. Just rely on the terrifying weight of the Big Steel Snake, to crush the opponent. Yang Yu, are you too anxious? This is a Big Steel Snake with gym-level strength. Wu Yuqian's eyelids twitched, and in the blink of an eye, Yang Yu's beauty rushed out. Shouldn't the Salted Fish King be the one to fight the Big Steel Snake? Yang Yu's Salted Fish King had already turned into a scarlet rage. The Scarlet Gyarados rushed over and had a head-on confrontation with the Big Steel Snake. It used its terrifying body and huge strength advantage to completely defeat the Big Steel Snake. Logically speaking, isn't that how the script is written? Although Wu Yuqian had also seen Yang Yu's beautiful physical attack ability, but, the elf in front was a Big Steel Snake. According to the Elf Alliance's race data record, the physical defense ability of the Big Steel Snake is worth 200 points, not to mention the Big Steel Snake with gym-level strength in front of him. This terrifying physical defense ability may even help some physical attacking Heavenly King-level elves, let alone Deoguan-level Minas. Wu Yuqian admitted that Yang Yu's Minas physical attack ability was indeed very strong. Ordinary elves would never be able to defeat Minas in close combat, but the Salted Fish King is too slow. He can't outrun Dameli, he can only be beaten by Dameli. Yang Yu said in an extremely calm tone. Senior brother Qian still doesn't know. The great beauty now is not the great beauty it was when I entered the Water Gym. After 3 days of separation, treat each other with admiration. Not to mention it's been almost 2 months. How much hardship did Yang Yu have to endure in order for Dameli to master yoga postures? Bitter dog food, Yang Yu doesn't want to eat it anymore anyway. The flexibility of the body is the invincible advantage of great beauty. The 3 major movements of Dragon Dance, yoga postures and curling up are perfectly integrated to become the current Tianlong dance. Now that it has been displayed, don't blame Dameli for taking the shot too quickly. If you want to blame it, blame the salted fish king himself for being too slow. Roar. The salted fish king felt that his eyes were not red with anger, but because of pity. At this moment, how he wished that Male could rush slower. If possible, the salted fish king might say the cruelest words in the most pitiful tone. Let go of that big steel snake and let me do it. It's a pity that the blue light that streaked across the sky and made a sound of breaking through the air was like a tidal blade that seemed to be unsheathed. It formed an extremely cold water tail on the extremely hard tail scales of the Great Beauty, like a high-pressure water jet that is about to break through steel. At this moment, the blade blooms. Yee. Oh! There was an astonishing cold light and a ferocious look between the heroic brows of the Great Beauty. In the beautiful appearance of the Great Beauty, she was like a queen holding a blade in her hand, and a chilling aura swept over the entire duel venue. The big steel snake raised its angry head, its crimson eyes were gloomy and ruthless. The menace in front of him had no charm at all in the cold and hard heart of the big steel snake. The big steel snake had only one thought in his mind. Using his huge body, he used his huge body to crush the elf in front of him, into the air. Heavy impact. When the tail of the water blooming like a starry blue river touched the hard head of the big steel snake, there was a harsh cutting sound in the venue, the sharp sound of cutting metal, whether it was Yang Yu or Wu Yuqian, and Astrid, a North American female gym-level trainer, all felt a sense of discomfort in their ears. Roar. The salted fish king wanted to rush forward and use the same method to let the big steel snake feel the heavy impact of the salted fish thrust. But if he rushed forward now, he might attack the beautiful girl. The next second, the angry eyes of the salted fish king suddenly shrank. Oh! The big steel snake made an extremely painful sound in the field. It suddenly raised its body, which was the most real instinctive reaction to the extreme pain. The pain had already driven him into madness, and he was bound to crush this menace, pressure and defeat. However, neither the big steel snake nor the trainer Astrid knew the real power of Yang Yu's meanness. Use softness to overcome hardness and use strength to fight against strength. Under the heavy impact of the big steel snake, this powerful force undoubtedly helped the big beauty to reverse the offensive body posture for the ultimate flexibility. What's more important is that the big steel snake was injured this time because of the pain. The crazy movement of raising his body gave Menus the power to leap into the air. What? Astrid's expression changed instantly. Male took advantage of this extremely huge impact force and used her extremely soft body to start spinning in the air, like a gymnast, turning in the air. This means May uses her flexible body to dissipate the terrifying reaction force produced when the water tail collides with the heavy impact through this incredible high-speed rotation. At the same time, she relies on her powerful body control ability to coordinate an optimal attack. Location. No doubt. Great Beauty, found it? One move, a water tail falling from the sky. During the ever-changing battle between elves, Astrid suddenly had an ominous premonition when she saw Mina spinning so strangely in the sky. There was even a scratch on the steel forehead of the big steel snake that made her extremely frightened. Big steel snake, use iron wall. Bulbasaur, hurry up, stop Minas, use crazy growth and vine whip, use flying leaf blade, stop her. Yee. The big beauty looked coldly, facing the invading vine whips below and the defense of hard grass formed by crazy growth, and mercilessly threw out the water tail that released the blue light. Bulbasaur's defense was instantly shattered. Ui. When the tail of the second section of the water flow of the Great Beauty struck the hard head of the big steel snake like a powerful force splitting the Huashan mountain, the queen-like aura of the Great Beauty bloomed instantly at this moment. Yee. Kneel down. Boom. The huge body of the big steel snake was swaying. At this moment, it finally couldn't support it and fell heavily to the ground, raising a huge cloud of dust. The incomparably beautiful body of Male is suspended in the sky, with a pair of cold beautiful eyes, looking down at all living beings. A cold light flashed from the body of the Bulbasaur that tried to stop her. The gym-level Bulbasaur couldn't help but shrink his head. It's scared. Please vote. Pokemon's Character Master. Author, Ai Ren Huo Shao. Chapter 707. No, this is impossible, this is impossible. Why is Minas Watertail so strong? No, 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 it must be a hallucination, it must be like this. When the big steel snake's body fell uncontrollably and hit the field with a loud noise, Astrid's heartbeat skipped a beat, as if it suddenly stopped. When her eyes looked at the extraordinary temperament in the sky, when she met Minas' cold gaze was like a sharp sword shining with cold light, directly shattering Astrid's arrogant self-esteem. However, all this is not over yet. The great beauty moved again. This time, her target is Bulbasaur, who just tried to stop her. The solid body of Meowfrog Flower immediately took root in the surface of the earth, with a steady stream of growth power, and densely packed vine whips trying to block the blue phantom in the sky. There seemed to be only a streak of blue light in the sky. When the beautiful and ruthless water tail cuts through these spreading and growing vine whips, the scene even pauses like in the animation. After Menu's sharp fan-shaped scale tail cuts instantly, Bulbasaur's vine whip seems to still be there. Complete, but they had been cut off as early as the moment the blue light came on. Stagnant, still stagnant. Until the next second. All the vine whips were broken. Where the vine whip broke, it was extremely smooth, without any trace of being broken, only at that moment, the smooth section that was cut off. This knife. Cut in two. Astrid seemed to see the scene after her tail was cut in two by the blow. At this moment, she felt that her breathing at this moment became precious. No, no, no. She still has a chance, she still has a chance. Boscardora, Boscardora, metal explosion, target, Lake of Mirrors. Astrid's red eyes were filled with tears, as if she had found the last solution. She hasn't lost yet, she hasn't lost yet. However, when the azure light of great beauty instantly lit up and turned into golden light, her skillful trick-changing skills allowed the dragon tail to fall from the sky again, and even deflated the huge flower on the back of the Meowfrog Flower. Got it? Well then. Bulbasaur wailed in pain. Even with one move, it could not hold on. Dragon Dance and Yoga Posture and Crouching Move Combination Technique Tianlong Dance maximized Great Beauty's physical attack ability. Transforming the water tail into a dragon tail, Bulbasaur, who has both grass and poison elements, sank, the ground appeared to sink, and she instantly lost her fighting ability. Borrowing strength to fight, it's still not over yet. The body of Bulbasaur itself is softer than that of the big steel snake. Even though it is like a sofa, the huge stamen on its back still has a certain degree of elasticity. Taking advantage of this reaction force from the opponent's body, the beautiful body spun in the air again. What's even more incredible is that this time, Great Beauty has turned its target in the direction of the Boscodora on the ground. Wu Yukin rubbed his eyes. Is this still Yang Yu's Minas? How does it feel? Is this a Gyarados with the appearance of Minas? Why so violent? But it looks very touching. Yo. Wu Yukin was carrying the little stinky clay brand skull bag on his back and waving his arms. This kind of violent fighting style was very satisfying to him. It was time for the little ones to. There was a gang fight? Ah. Oh no. Among the swarms of rocks falling from high altitudes, these Stinky Mud and Stinky Mud are not afraid of falling from high altitudes at all. It is just a pile of mud, even after it is smashed, it is still a pile of mud. There are times when small pieces of mud splash out and cannot be found, so you have to eat more to replenish them. Smelly mud sounded the clarion call for charge. If it were other elves, perhaps the impact of thousands of elves would be an extremely spectacular scene, but if it were replaced by Stinky Mud and Stinky Mud, Even though this is the rehabilitated Stinky Mud and Stinky Mud, but, the purple, and green colors, I really can't help it. Astrid's expression changed drastically. For a woman, especially a young blonde female trainer, seeing this group of she appearing on the ground in front of her. Boscodora, metal explosion. Metal explosion, Astrid made an extremely sharp voice. She couldn't stand it any longer. She felt like she was about to vomit. It's just raw, not as good as she. Great beauty, charge forward, water tail, defeat Boscodora. How could Yang Yu make Astrid achieve her wish? You like metal explosions, right? You like to resist Shenlong destruction / right? Boscodora is not the super evolved Super Boscodora with filtering properties. Super Boscodora only has steel attributes, no rock attributes, and even the filtering attribute can reduce the damage power of moves with excellent attribute effects by January 4th. In other words, fire, ground, and fighting moves can cause damage from the original 2 times, the filtering is reduced to 1.5 times. It's just, a mere Boscodora that has not evolved. Boscodora, which possesses both steel and rock elements, is indeed very strong in physical defense, but no matter how strong the external defense is, it will be broken from the inside. In order to use the metal explosion to resist the Shenlong destruction / Boscodora's body, is it overheated? Have you studied physics? Have you ever learned thermal expansion and contraction? Boscodora, who has dual elements of steel and rock, has a sharply high temperature at this time. He only needs a little bit of water to make him feel what a real metal explosion is. At the moment when the beautiful blue tail is about to hit Boscodora, Yang Yu laughed coldly, pointed his finger and ordered, "Great beauty, the wave of water." Yi. On the extremely mysterious azure blue tail of the great beauty, a few crystal clear drops of water were peeled off from it. When the tail of the water fell heavily on the body of Boscodora, these few crystal droplets, the tiny transparent water droplets, should have been instantly evaporated by the high temperature, but just when they were about to evaporate, the beautiful and somewhat coquettish eyes lit up with a faint blue light. These tiny water droplets, under the control of great beauty, condense into larger, more numerous, and more incredible water waves in an instant. A rippling wave of water instantly surged out from the beautiful blue tail. On Boscodora's body, the scar caused by the tail of the great beauty's water flow was extremely conspicuous, and at this moment, the great beauty displayed waves of surging water, again and again without any trace of it. Attack that scar without mercy. It's like add salt to the wound. Boscodora itself was in a state of high temperature. Under the raging fury of Shenlong destruction / the temperature of Boscodora's body reached an incredible level. The beautiful girl's first move, water tail, was like blasting out from a dam. A gap, and wave after wave of water waves hit from behind, enough to cause the dam to burst. Sizzle. Zhyla. Boscodora's body is like the state when the internal wires of the robot are short-circuited. Not only does the entire body not obey the orders, it even has a tendency to collapse itself. Great beauty, come back quickly. The last blow was successful. Yang Yu would not let Boscodora's internal collapse, let the beauty get hurt. Oops. Swampert, warrior eagle, let's get out of the way. Oh dash. Boscodora roared unwillingly, and the next moment, the metal explosion energy in Boscodora's body was affected by the fluctuation of fuse water. Finally started to collapse from the inside. No matter how strong the outer shell of Boscodora is, it cannot withstand the collapse of its own energy. Boom! The power of a huge explosion spread instantly from this area, and at this critical moment, the superpowers of Duday and dream-inducing taper, took action instantly. Protect the Lake of Mirrors. Oh! 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 More and more stinky mud and stinking mud began to gather at this moment, using the flesh as a wall, stacking up layer by layer like a pile of arhuts. No one can destroy their home. Because, Smelly Ni and Smelly Ni are the staunchest guards of this home. All the stinky muds exerted their strength almost at the same time, holding hands, shoulder to shoulder, hugging the mud, displaying all the power of grass and their own unique mud properties. Without any fear, we headed towards the Boscodora that was about to trigger an energy explosion. Mount Tai, press to the top. Stinky mud, stinky mud. Don't go there, why do you still want to go there? The expressions of Yang Yu and Wu Yuqian changed drastically. The metal of Boscodorana exploded. This power. The stinky mud and the stinky mud can't be carried. Xiao Xianyi patted Wu Yuqian's shoulder, indicating that he didn't need to worry. Suddenly, at the foot of the stinky mud mountain, there seemed to be a bio puff like a long fart sound that sounded like air leakage. There was even a strange black smoke coming out. You may not believe it. This is probably the most beautiful and even wonderful fart sound that Yang Yu and Wu Yuqian have ever heard in their lives. And it's still the same smelly mud and smelly mud. In fact, they didn't need to rush up. There are people like Dudu and dream-inducing taper. Yang Yu and Wu Yuqian saw the stinky mud, the figures that piled up to form a mountain, and finally the figure who jumped to the top of Mount Tai without hesitation. I was so anxious that I couldn't help but sweat for them. Why do I always have tears in my eyes? Because I love this land deeply. Astrid, you are in danger. Beside Astrid, apart from an elite moon EV who had a premonition of something bad and ran away, and the last Swampert, there might be other elves in her pocket. But her trump card has been completely wiped out. Yo. Xiao Xianyi's eyes showed a ferocious expression. You're wet. Stinky mud, the whole army attacks. Astrid looked extremely horrified when she saw the giant stone mountain that could bounce and even shoot sludge bombs. Real life is worse than she. The ignorant are doomed. Please vote.